Hello, my dear friends and subscribers. Hope you are all doing well. I did say that I would do an astro update just to show you briefly and quickly what is important in the stars. And we do a lot of astrology, and we go into the smallest of the details on Patreon. So if you're interested in more details pertaining to the astrology, day to day, the important aspects and how the energies play out and affect us personally and collectively, then do consider joining us on Patreon. And of course, if you're a Patreon, you're not going to hear anything new from what I've already spoken to you about on the new moon in Leo, which I uploaded yesterday or the day before. I lose track of time. Anyway, darlings, so what's important to note here? First of all, happy birthday, dear Leo, as the sun is progressing through Leo. Leo, which is a fire sign, fixed fire sign ruled by the sun, and it is Leo season. It's very, very hot weather in the northern hemisphere in Greece. Nevertheless, I don't know about you and in your country, but we know that the sun is in its strongest position. Leo rules the 5th house, and I've got 0 degrees of Aries here, so I can help you sort of follow along. And Leo rules the 5th house, which is the house that rules creativity, creative expression, children, romance, anything connected to the heart. It is the house of fun, risk-taking. Leo is the sign that likes to be up on stage, so it does rule the arts, being up on stage, performing, any sort of a performance. Leo is very much the leader, the king, the person in charge, right? Fiery, fixed energy, Leo, but also usually very optimistic, very giving, very loving. Leo is ruled by the heart, and most Leos out there, when they're in their light, they do come through as heartfelt, generous. They give from the heart. So Leo loves everything extravagant, everything that likes to be shiny. So anything that shines is Leo. So the fact that the sun is moving through Leo, which is a fixed sign, and we know that the north and south nodes are moving through Taurus and Scorpio, okay, which says we're dealing with a lot of fixed energies. And obviously, as you can see here, the moon is, as I'm doing this analysis, the moon is moving through Cancer, which is its home sign. It's just passed over Venus. Okay, the moon, which is the feminine, the subconscious, the ability to nurture, to provide. The moon is very homely. It rules the 4th house, which is the home. That has to do with our subconscious, our internal emotions. And as the moon is, it doesn't hold its own light. It obviously speaks to secrecy, unless we're having a new moon or a full moon, where I should say more the full moon is when the moon collects the light. There's a reflection on the moon, the light of the sun, so anything that's hidden is usually shown within a full moon. Now, as you could see, Cancer, which is a cardinal water sign. Cardinal means change. It means beginnings, as we know that the cardinal signs are when we have a change of seasons, right? So Cancer is, even in the northern hemisphere, it's the beginning of summer. In the southern hemisphere, obviously, it's the beginning of winter. Okay, so change of seasons, change of energies when the moon transits through cardinal signs, which the cardinal signs are Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, and Libra. We always, the elements are, as you can see, we've got Cancer in opposition is Capricorn, and on the left side is Aries, and on the right side is Libra. So this is the cardinal cross, my dear friends. So obviously the cardinal signs are affected as when we've got planetary placements in this area. Now the moon rules the 4th house, so it does speak to the mother. The moon is feminine, it's the yin energy. The sun is masculine, the yang energy. We know that, many of us know that the water signs are more feminine, more yin energy. So the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, they're the water element, and they're very in tune, intuitive, psychic. They've got strong psychic abilities. Water means fluctuating emotions, right? Cancer is quite a sensitive sign. As I said, it's very much about the mother. The 4th house rules usually the family, the home, because the moon does also speak to a home, our home, where we felt provided for, nurtured, loved, right? And it's the mother. Whether you've been nurtured and raised by a mother or a father, someone's taken on the role of the mother. So the moon is very strong here in Cancer, and of course it speaks to also matters to do with the past, your heritage, you know, your lifeline, where you've come from, your ancestors, so the deep past as well. So when the moon is transiting through Cancer, it's all about the home, right? What do we need to be provided with so that we can feel that we're in a safe, healthy environment where that's where we grow, that's where we feel at home. And obviously the moon has just passed over Venus. Venus is very sensitive also in Cancer. We could also now, because we've got Black Moon Lilith here on Venus, we could be looking at matters pertaining to injustice or a sense of power struggles. I mean, Black Moon Lilith was the first wife of Adam, and she did not want to be beneath Adam. She wanted equality. So the feminine, this is the feminine dark side. So the dark side of the yin energy. And it can be psychological issues, emotional issues to do with the past, or anything to do with the home, the mother, feeling that we've been done wrong, sometimes where matters pertaining to love. I mean, Venus can speak to money as well. So, you know, Black Moon Lilith can be dark thoughts, can be just really difficult psychological energies. So the moon, as you could see, is coming up to conjoin with the sun. So we're having a new moon in Leo. It's going to be at the 5th degree. I will show you as I animate the chart. But we can also see here in Taurus, which is another fixed earth sign, the most stable of the earth signs. So Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn are affected positively in a good aspect from Taurus. So we know Taurus does speak to, I mean, this is the money house, and having the north and south nodes here, we know that a lot of fated changes are going on pertaining to this area of the chart, of the horoscope. So north node is in Taurus. This is what we should be facing and moving towards, and leaving the south node, you know, which is our comfort zone. This is karma that we need to shed and let go of, pertaining to Scorpio. And Scorpio is, it's got to do with endings, death, the death of a situation, things that have already served their purpose. Now the south node is what we need to move away from, because it's something that has died for us personally, and of course it's on the collective energies as well. It does speak to energetically what's going on in the world. So we're leaving Scorpio matters behind. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto is transiting through Capricorn, Cardinal Earth Capricorn, and Pluto is retrograde, my dear friends. So we're dealing with matters pertaining to the past. Capricorn is, it can have to do with our career, our goals, what it is that we do out there in the world, who we are out there in the world, our reputation. Pluto has been transiting through Capricorn since 2008. He's very slow moving, an outer planet. He does speak to a death process, which is a very slow process. Pluto is very slow moving. And Pluto retrograding here, obviously again retrograde planets do speak to the past. Now Pluto is in a very strong degree. 27th degree is the strong degree of Mars. Okay, so Mars being the warrior, Mars and Pluto both being malefic planets. Malefic means difficult planets. Mars also speaks to confidence, taking charge of one's life. Mars rules Aries, and Aries is the soldier, the warrior, the fighter. He who will fight for his desires, for his ability to move forward, to conquer the world, let's say. I mean, Mars is all about instigating change. Remember that Mars rules Aries, and Aries is also a cardinal. It's a cardinal fire sign, and it's all about leadership, the head. Aries rules the head. So this Pluto in this area would probably, and most probably on a collective scale, speaks to the heads of state, those that are in positions of power, those who lead. And Pluto has been uncovering, we can say, because Pluto is all about depth and secrecy, just like Scorpio is, right? So a lot of things have been uncovered and are getting uncovered pertaining to things that have been hidden. Now, Pluto can speak to riches, it can speak to abundance. Pluto in Greek speaks to riches, so it can speak to the masses as well. So great transformations going on pertaining to the area of Capricorn. Now, cardinal signs will be affected and have been affected since 2008. More importantly, pertaining to Pluto is like going very deep and first of all seeing what's hidden under the surface. And of course it can speak to fears. Anything that is hidden, whatever is hidden, we do fear. But we've also got the possibility to change, to let things die, and through a metamorphosis, it's a huge change. So let things die away, and obviously then start to rebuild, just like the caterpillar that turns into a butterfly. It's a very slow process, but it's huge, and it's a very important process. Pluto is all about the riches of the world changing hands, I would say, going from those few elite onto the many. Because why do I say that? Pluto is preparing. In 2023, he's going to ingress into Aquarius for a moment, for I think 3 months, and then return back, retrograde back into Capricorn until 2024. So slowly, we all know that we are heading towards the age of Aquarius. Aquarius is the people, it's the many, it's the masses, it's the future, it's the future collective. It's like leaving the past. Remember that Aquarius is ruled by Saturn and Uranus, and Uranus, the modern ruler, is in Taurus, not in a strong position. And Saturn is transiting through Aquarius, so obviously this is affecting the fixed signs, yeah, the fixed signs of Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo. And Saturn moves through a sign, takes about 2.5 years, 2.5 to 3 years. So Aquarius hasn't had it easy, obviously, with Saturn, the difficult teacher. Saturn can speak to past karma. We see Saturn that is also retrograde, so dealing with the past. Retrograde planets are closer to the Earth, so therefore they're more potent. Saturn is a limiting, restrictive, difficult teacher that teaches us lessons. Now, it can speak to timing as well, because Saturn, Kronos in mythology, was the ruler of time. And of course, he's a malefic planet. So Saturn is changing the lives of Aquarius, more importantly. Now, we've all got Aquarius somewhere in our chart, in our own personal birth chart. If you'd like to run your own chart, there are websites that you can visit. For instance, www.astro.com. That is one site that you can go put in your birth details and get your natal birth chart. But you'll have to know your exact birth time. And if you don't have an exact birth time, well, then you just won't know. You won't know what your rising sign is, and won't be able to see which signs rule which area of the chart. So if you have trouble doing that, you can always reach out to me. It is for free. You can write to me at divinedebut11@gmail.com, and I can run your chart for you and email it out to you. It is a free service. Okay, so yes, Saturn is now dealing with the past, and we could see that Saturn is in opposition here to Leo. So, and obviously we've got these potent energies here with Uranus, which rules Aquarius. Remember, Aquarius is all about freedom. It's group situations, it's the internet, it's communication, it's the maverick, it's doing things in a very futuristic way, breaking free from anything that's been limiting. And we've got Mars here on Uranus in Taurus. Mars is not comfortable in Taurus, and Uranus is in a weak position here as well. But think of Mars, which is the ruling planet of Aries, and Uranus, which rules Aquarius. So we've got fire and air. Fire and air together, they're masculine signs. As I was saying before, water signs are feminine, yin energy. Earth signs are yin energy, feminine, recessive. It's the fire and air signs that are the masculine. So masculine is all about action, moving forward, not sitting back and waiting and being recessive. It's the water and the earth element that is more about waiting for the others to take action. So whatever we've been stuck in, speaking of the area of Taurus, and I was talking about Taurus and I got sidetracked, Taurus being fixed earth. It is the earth, it's Mother Gaia. It is a Venus-ruled sign. And Venus speaks to love, money, values, balance, harmony, equality, all those things of Venus. And Taurus being an earth sign, it's practical, right? It's slow moving. It does not like change. Therefore, Mars, which loves to run through a sign because it is fire, it gets stuck. There's aggravation, there's frustration because Mars cannot move quickly through Taurus. And Taurus needs security. We all have Taurus somewhere in our chart. We need that security. Remember, Taurus is our money, and Scorpio is the money that comes from others, from other sources, from shared resources. Taurus is resources, but Scorpio is shared resources, whether it comes from a partner, whether it comes from a bank, from an inheritance, money coming through from other sources, large amounts of money. Remember, Pluto rules Scorpio, And Pluto means large amounts of money, a plethora, a big amount, very powerful, very life-changing and transformative. Now, Scorpio also rules the depths, intimacy, sex, emotional intimacy, physical intimacy is Scorpio, but it also speaks to mysticism, spells, magic, voodoo, all those dark forces is Scorpio. But remember, Scorpio being a fixed water sign, Scorpio is also, it has to do with poison. It is the snake, right? Poison. But poison is usually taken from a snake to make medicine. So something that's poisonous, we can, when we work with the ingredient, whatever that poison is for you, and it's all the things that I just mentioned, right? It brings a change. It brings a rebirth. It's death and rebirth. And we know that through an ending comes a new beginning. But Scorpio also speaks to a fear, great fear. So this is what we need to be letting go of. Now, what's been going on in the world, we know. Everyone is fear-stricken. Everyone's life is on the line. We don't know if we're going to be around tomorrow because of A, B, and C. I don't want to go into the details. We all know what's going on in the world. There's challenges coming from left, right, and center. And, of course, everything began with with an environment that was very poisonous, which began in 2020, right? Poison, medicine, all those situations that we've been dealing with from the beginning of 2020. But the energies have shifted as the nodes shifted, my dear friends. As the nodes entered Taurus and Scorpio, it's all about our resources. Taurus also rules food. It's what Mother Gaia, the earth, gives us. Taurus is what we build upon. It can speak to a piece of land or an actual building. How do we go about building a home? Building on a love relationship, building on something that will provide us with security and finances, financial stability. What is it that we need to feel nourished? Taurus is the physical body. It's also those five senses. Taurus needs to feel good. That's why the Taurian archetype loves everything that is of quality and expensive. But remember that when we talk about Taurus, there's many similarities as with Scorpio because they share the same axis. Same goes for Leo and Aquarius, whereas Leo is more about I'm the leader, I'm the king, and beneath me is everyone else, right? So a king cannot be a king if he doesn't have an empire that he's going to rule. So they need each other. The group, the masses, the people, they need someone to lead. So we're having a new moon at the 5th degree of Leo. So obviously it's a seed that's planted. It will affect the fixed signs, mainly Leo and Aquarius. If we look at Scorpio and Taurus, right, they're in a difficult aspect to Leo. So they will feel the discomfort of this new moon. And obviously a new moon is like a birthing process. It's like putting a seed into the earth where something is going to grow, something is being born. That's why I'm calling, and I've called the new moon in Leo, A Star is Born. I feel that there is going to be something significant that will be birthed. It can be a literal star, someone that's up on stage, someone that is well known in the world, someone that shines leadership, someone that is the sun. Think of the sun. The sun speaks to, it's our vitality, it's our health. It's very clear in its essence. It provides us with life. with sustenance, with heart, with feeling as though we are looked after. The sun, without the sun's rays, there is no life. So this new moon in Leo, and obviously it's important for Leo, so everyone, though, can send out their wishes to Spirit, to the divine, and possibly in 6 months your wish can be fulfilled when we have that full moon in Leo in the Aquarius season. Okay, so make sure to send out your wishes, take some time out, meditate. Remember that this is the fun house. It's the house of risk-taking, romance. It can rule sex as well. It's the early stages, the fluttering stages where your heart flutters, you get butterflies in your stomach. So it does speak to romance, very importantly. So, you know, just looking at this area here of Leo, it's all about beauty and abundance and taking the initiative, getting out there, playing. So I love that. I love the energy of Leo. Now we've got Saturn in opposition here. So Saturn can be restricting, but I feel that Saturn being retrograde, he's like giving us a window of opportunity where we can look back at past limitations, difficulties, restrictions, and get a chance to revisit a certain situation where there were forks in the road, there was the inability to move forward, and also maybe the timing was not right. So remember that, and I have spoken about this many times, that Saturn is squaring over to Uranus. So we've got both the planets that rule Aquarius in square. Now, this square has been going on since 2021, the beginning. And because planets retrograde, this transit sort of, this connection broke away. So it was too far away to give us the challenge that this square has been giving us since 2021. We had 3 times last year Saturn and Uranus connected exactly. So Saturn being the old conservative, limiting energies, it's got to do with the past, with karma, the limiting energies, the inability to move forward, the restrictions because of law, because of a boss, because of needing to learn a certain lesson, and Uranus, which is all about the future. So more youthful energy, more about being able to see into the future using our higher mind with the help of the divine, of spirit. I mean, look at Uranus, it's got those antennas, so it picks up on the energies of the ethers. Uranus, it can speak to tower moments. I always marry Uranus with the tower card in the tarot, because Uranus is very abrupt and very unexpected. So expect the unexpected, radical, unforeseen things will be happening personally as well as collectively, dear friends. And this square is still going on, but they're coming closer together as Saturn is retrograding. Uranus is not going to retrograde yet. Uranus is going to retrograde towards the end of August, last week in August. So as Saturn will be retrograding now backwards, he's coming closer to Uranus. They will be traveling together in the next few months, but they won't be exact. But we will feel those tense energies, and we've seen a lot of pushbacks pertaining to governmental restrictions. You're not allowed to get out of the house. You're not allowed to go and visit your grandfather, your grandmother, your parent. All those restrictions, you know what I'm talking about. That's what Saturn is. And Uranus is the people. It's the many that are pushing back pertaining to the narrative that's been playing out of those who are trying to control the masses. Aquarius being the masses, the people, and Saturn being the boss, right? Saturn rules Aquarius, Aquarius and Capricorn. Now in Aquarius, he's not as heavy as he is in Capricorn because we've got Uranus here as well, co-ruling Aquarius, and Aquarius is all about freedom. So Saturn tries to restrict, but Uranus obviously is stronger, as he is the modern ruling planet of the sign of Aquarius. Think of those few that are in positions of power, and think of the population. Obviously, the strength is in the masses. So that's what I see, and I feel that we're coming up to a crescendo pertaining to this this tug of war between Uranus and Saturn. In mythology, it was all about power struggles and wanting the throne. I mean, Saturn took the throne from Uranus. Okay, and before that, I should say after that, as karma comes back around, the son of Saturn, Jupiter, took the throne from Saturn. So it's like the karma that's being carried forth. And Saturn does speak to karma and cycles, revisiting those cycles until we learn the lesson. And they do say that karma that has not been dealt with from the parents is passed on to the children. It's like the karma or the story playing out from one generation to another. And similar cycles, if they're not exactly the same, there's great similarities. So it does speak to power struggles. Who's going to sit on the throne? Who's going to be the boss? And Mars obviously is energizing and triggering Uranus. Now Uranus is on the North Node. The North Node is the future collective destiny, and we are all part of the collective, so this is very important. This doesn't happen every day. It's many, many years since Uranus connected with the North Node, and obviously where Mars is concerned, where this triple conjunction is concerned, and they're meeting at the 18th degree of Taurus. So this is something that does not happen every day. It is very rare. What's going to play out, and we are already in these energies. This will happen at the beginning, first couple of days of August, end of July, first couple of days of August, when it will be exact. So the energies have just been really, really challenging, my dear friends, as of roughly the 10th of July and moving forward. And the energies, the struggles and the testing times that we're going through are going to last until roughly the 20th of August. So we're in the midst of the storm. Just looking at, I mean, Venus is soon to enter Leo. We've got Mercury in Leo here. Venus will enter Leo. The moon will enter Leo. So we can have 4 celestial bodies. Actually, the moon moves faster, so we'll see when Venus will enter. I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, we've got strong energies in Leo, and they're squaring over to this potent planetary alignment here. So where we've been stuck and we haven't been able or haven't had the ability to make the changes in our life, here comes Spirit to bring in the fated changes that are meant to happen for us. So expect the unexpected. Now, because Uranus rules the skies, Uranus is the ethers, anything to do with aviation, flight, travel, and anything to do with the sky. Uranus can speak to electricity, electrical storms. I mean, Taurus is the earth, so difficult weather. Mars can speak to fire. Both coming together can speak to earthquakes. I don't know if we're going to, and I would not be surprised if we do not hear of a massive earthquake somewhere in the world. This is dangerous energy. Do take care as you drive. drive slowly, just like Taurus is slow and stable and steady. Mars wants to move forward quickly. Just take your foot off the pedal, and know that the energies are very radical and life-changing. So take care. It's very forceful energies. It's like we're going to feel the stress, the anxiety, the maybe wanting to retaliate, strike back, when we're dealing with someone that is being unjust, unfair. Maybe take a deep breath, take a step back, and breathe, and know that this too shall pass, my dear friends. Now, Venus with Black Moon Lilith here. Venus is starting to head up. She will oppose Pluto. An opposition is, it's like, again, a tug of war. It's can you find the middle ground? Because Venus in opposition, an opposition is not easy. It's something that started, I would say, early in the year when Venus was on Pluto. Now with this opposition pertaining to those limitations, those restrictions in moving forward, pertaining to Venusian matters and something that needs to change, Pluto, we're going to have a revelation. So this revelation will give us some understanding of what that new cycle of Venus, January 8th this year. Venus started a brand new 8-year cycle. She formed the Venus star point, which is a very important new synodic cycle. It can relate to 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, 16 years. But mostly she does speak to those 8 years, an 8-year cycle, which is very important. So Capricorn is restricting, very karmic, very slow moving, very hard to deal with. But the thing is that Capricorn asks for grounding. Okay, Saturn is like heavy. It's heaviness, it's metal, it's strong though. It's the mountain goat. So it does give you that that strength and the ability to know that if you're taking baby steps, one step at a time, you will get to your goals. So we will have information pertaining to what that new beginning is. It in career? Is it in love relationships? Is it in anything pertaining to your home or home and career, or anything pertaining to the past and where you're moving towards in the future? All those things will be shown to us very soon, as Venus will come to oppose Pluto. And then soon after, she will pass over this new moon degree, the 5 degree of Leo. Do you have anything at 5 degrees of Leo in your own personal birth chart? Okay, do you have anything? This new moon obviously will affect those that are born in the first 5 days, 6 days of the Leo sign, more importantly for you. And this new moon is trining over to Jupiter, which I will show you. Let's move forward with that. But just before I move forward, Chiron is also retrograde. Chiron, that open wound. We're trying to find a resolution, some sort of a solution to have the ability to move forward, to take charge of our own lives, to birth that seed. We have had a birthing process recently, as Jupiter had connected with Mars in the area of Aries. So Jupiter very strong in Aries, but Jupiter is also now preparing to retrograde. He's going to retrograde the day after the new moon. So it's all about, Aries is the head. It's the, the ram, that cardinal fire. Cardinal is change. Fire is quick. It is passion. It's desire. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, so it speaks to the full card, right? That new journey. Already we've had a new cycle that's begun. Okay, as Jupiter connected to Mars, and Mars is on his jolly way until he finishes, because usually Mars is a 2 and a bit year cycle. And Mars, we've all got Mars somewhere in our chart, right? We've all got that desire and that passion. Now, of course, we're not all born with a strong Mars. We could have a weak Mars. So if you were born with Mars in Taurus, he's not in a strong position, just so you know. Mars also is the co-ruling planet of Scorpio, so it does affect Scorpio people as well. But yeah, so we're looking for some sort of a solution pertaining to this open wound that we are carrying from the past, right? Some sort of a healing that needs to take place, a healing of the mind, and with all the lockdowns and the restrictions and the fears that we've been served, right? So all the doomsday, like this is going to happen, that's going to happen, which is fear is one of the most negative emotions that we could be facing or carrying. And fears speak to, it's like a toying with one's mind. A fear, when we feel that sense of fear, that emotion of fear, physically our body does not work in sync. Our chakras disalign. Fear holds us back. Fear will stop the oxygen entering our body. Fear, we cannot breathe properly. Think of it, it's like a domino effect. The ancients used to say, the ancient Greeks used to say, a healthy mind leads to a healthy body. And what we've seen is that everyone has got issues pertaining to the mind, psychological, emotional issues pertaining to the fear of tomorrow, the future. Where will we be? Where will we end up? We see the life and how our resources, it's like, those that are in position of power, like turning off the tap, cutting off our lifeline, what we need to nourish and feed ourselves, feed our emotional and our physical bodies. So we've gone from a fear of illness and death to a fear of, how am I going to put food on the table to feed my children? How am I going to hold on to my home? I've got a mortgage. I've lost my job, or there's no work, or I'm not willing to go by their set of rules, so I lose my job. So all these fears, it's only natural that people will feel like they're cornered. And this is what's going to change, I believe, with Uranus on the North Node connecting to Mars. Now, this is a brand new 15-year cycle, dear friends. A 15-year cycle. Now, remember that Uranus is in a Venus-ruled sign. And remember that Spirit wants what is right for us, what is good for us. And because the North Node is the future collective and it's positive, the South Node is what's more negative. It's more karma, whereas the North Node is more our dharma. And it's hard to move towards the future. It's hard to move towards fate because this is what is familiar to us, is the South Node. This is our riches that we've brought from a past lifetime. So it's like we're leaving what we've built, what is familiar, our environment, our riches. What means riches for you? What is richness for you? We're leaving the South Node. We should be detaching from the South Node and moving more towards at least the middle point and facing the North Node. So because Uranus rules Aquarius, and of course Pluto is in Capricorn, which is world leaders, Saturn is in Aquarius, trying to restrict the groups, large, the population, humanity, restricting our freedoms, right? Aquarius is all about freedom. It's all about our ability to think freely, to speak freely. All those things are Aquarius, and Saturn is challenging us, saying that find an intelligent way to overcome these restrictions. Work with the future, work with Uranus, but work also, use, Saturn, use your higher mind, use your intelligence. step out of the situation and see things just like an eagle from the ethers, from a higher point. Be smart. Don't be like the ram, right? The ram which falls head first. It's not a time to go head in first without thinking. It's necessary to think and then take the next step. There is no rush. But also with this challenging triple conjunction, we will see what we need to do. It's like Spirit will give us the green light. Now, sometimes we need to be able to think on our feet. It doesn't say that Uranus is quick, Mars is quick. It doesn't say that the energies do not speak of take your time. When you have that aha moment, that tower moment, and you see that there's a portal that will be opening up, it will be Spirit guiding you. You need to think on your feet and then take the action. Even though you'll be getting out of your comfort zone, that's the North Node. And of course, this is collectively, but it's the future collective destiny that will be opening up. This is the portal that's opening up now. And for many of us, of course, we're not all born on the same timeline, and of course, things take time. Remember, Pluto, he's going to enter Aquarius in 2024. And that's when the changes will be happening on a larger scale, on a scale of mass. The changes, the death and the resurrection of the world and how we know it. Okay, so there's quick energies and there's slow energies. But time is only relative for us here on this earth, my dear friends. So in the ethers, there is no time. Okay, time is the future, the now, and the past are all intertwined. So I'd just like to mention also, before I move forward and just animate the chart, is that Mercury in the sign of Leo will be squaring over to all these energies, to Mars, to Uranus, and to the North Node, which puts Mercury in an uncomfortable position. Mercury also will oppose Saturn. So Mercury is like in hot water, but he's trying to find a solution and a resolution. Okay, Mercury is all about youth. Mercury can speak to health. Mercury is very childlike. Remember, it does rule Gemini. Gemini is the youth. But Mercury also rules Virgo. So Virgo is all about health. It's all about the tiny details. Mercury is the messenger of the gods. So it's like, and we've had a Kazemi, obviously. Mercury has connected. He's been in an embrace with the sun, which is a very positive time. This happened, I don't know, maybe 10 days ago. I don't remember the exact date, but Mercury connected with the sun. He got his information. He's moving forward. Remember, Leo is all about leadership. It's all about extravagance. It's all about love, matters pertaining to the heart. So Mercury wants to move forward, but he's got a few forks in the road that he's got to deal with. And of course, he knows that he's heading home to Virgo very soon. He's a very quick planet, so his challenges will not last long. As you can see here, actually, today we've got Mars squaring over to Mercury. So be careful with driving. Mercury also rules cars, anything that is mobile, anything that is that's got to do with the logic, with the internet, with communication, news, any electronics, electrical goods is Mercury. And of course, he's in a fire sign, so I guess he's fast, right? And we also see here that with what's going on in the area of Taurus and Scorpio, fated matters pertaining to how to move forward or how to break free from any restrictions or a lack of the ability to move forward because we don't have the sustenance, we don't have the finances, we don't have the green light where love matters are concerned. We see that there's a beautiful sextile over to the moon. Of course, this doesn't last long, but it's also connected to Venus, right? Sextile is positive. So Venus also is in trine, another positive aspect to the South Node. So we're going to see what it is that we need to leave behind. Now, Venus, even though she's quite sensitive, we've got the Sun in Leo, a possible new beginning. So Venus is going to, her energy is going to change greatly as she enters Leo. She's going to be much more open, right? Open-hearted. Now it's more about going more internally, I'm going to say, as Venus connected with the moon, and she is in Cancer, and Cancer is the home. So we're within an environment where we need to feel safe, safe and happy, and feeling good within a safe environment is Venus in Cancer. And again, we could be looking at things pertaining to the past, right? Have we been provided with a safety and security in matters of love and finances? This is a positive aspect here, this wedge-like configuration that you see here. This is positive. So Venus and the moon, this is where the focus is. So it's good to see that Venus is here, of course, and the moon in its home sign of Cancer. So let's move forward now. Let's move forward. Neptune is also still in Pisces retrograde, so we are in retrograde season, my dear friends. So we've got Chiron, we've got Saturn, we've got Pluto, we've got Neptune. We're going to have Uranus retrograding at the end of August, right? Mercury will be retrograding, not yet. Mercury is going to retrograde September 10th, so we've got a while for that still to go. And Mars is preparing to enter Gemini, where Mars will retrograde, and that will be a really interesting one, but that won't happen till October 30th. Obviously, for the mutable signs, it will be very important. Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, and Virgo. Mars will retrograde in Gemini, which is an air sign. He does quite well there. It'll be really interesting, but and we do go into all these details on Patreon, so for more details, do join us on Patreon. Let's move forward, as I've already taken too long here. So here we are. Here is the 5 degrees. The moon comes up to connect, to conjoin with a new moon in Leo. So something is being birthed here. Now, Black Moon Lilith has just moved over Venus here. As we can see, Black Moon Lilith just goes up and down. So she's hassling Venus here. These could be dark thoughts. So try to snap out of it if you are having those dark thoughts. And just looking over, you could see that Jupiter has turned retrograde. Greek time, it will be on the 28th, which is tomorrow. So it will be happening at different points in time, depending on where you are in the world. Okay, so let's move forward. Here is Jupiter retrograde. I also wanted to mention that obviously Jupiter is very positive for all the fire signs that have been born in the first 10 days of their sign. So Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, obviously. We know that Jupiter is very expansive and optimistic. He's in the sign of Aries. Fire sign does really well there, but he's going to go back. He's going to retrograde. He's going to re-enter Pisces. He's got to finish something that he has not finished, a major cycle, I would say, since Pisces is the 12th house. Now, he rules Pisces as well as Sagittarius. So he's going to bring us those gifts. This is Santa Claus coming in to bring us the gifts, my friends, as he's going to stop at the 28th degree of Pisces, which is a very positive degree. It's very well linked to Venus. So the two benefic energies will bring those blessings in, but obviously it does speak to a major ending. Santa Claus will come. So really looking forward to that, as Jupiter will go direct November 23rd when he's in Pisces. So he will re-enter Aries, so he will bring the gifts again for the fire signs early 2023. So since he will be re-entering Pisces, it will be very beneficial to all the water signs, so Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. But he will be challenging the mutable signs, which is Pisces, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Gemini. Okay, and remember the challenging aspect of a square, which is 90 degrees, is it's all about change. That change is necessary, and it can be very productive. Jupiter in Pisces is very spiritual. It's all about the divine. So the divine gifts will be coming in for us. Now, just looking at this square, you can see we've got a T-square here, my dear friends. So an opposition with two squares, and the pressure point is here, right on Mercury. Okay, Mercury's taking the brunt of this T-square, but we've also got another T-square, which forms a grand square, right? And it affects very much the fixed signs. The fixed signs, as I've mentioned, who they are already, but we've all got those fixed signs somewhere in our chart, so that's where a grand square is huge. It's a huge pressure point where something's got to give. I do see it as a tower moment, a great shift that needs to happen. Okay, let's move forward. As we could see that Mercury is connected now with the North Node, squaring the North Node, Uranus, and still Mars. Okay, so it's all about the king, right? The sun, the clarity, the sustenance, the risk, the heart, matters pertaining to the heart, and having the ability to communicate those things, to be curious, to collaborate, to work with, and not alone. Remember that Leo is all about leadership alone, right? Whereas Aquarius is more the group effort. Have those important conversations. This connection, Mercury's in opposition to Aquarius. It's like, don't use only the logic and don't use only the higher mind, which is, the higher mind is our connection to spirit and the divine. It's all about using both sides of the brain together. So logic meets the divine so that we could move forward. Okay, and we'll see a lot of things coming, a lot of news coming up in relation to children as well, as Leo does speak to the children, and Mercury is the child. It's the inner child as well. Leo is the inner child. We could have things pertaining to our inner child, our subconscious, coming up for clearing, for understanding, for seeing. Okay, and seeing and recognizing is healing. That's the way to heal. Okay, so let's move forward. So this is the 30th of July. We see that Uranus is right on the North Node. Mars is one step away. Here is Mars as well. Here is the triple conjunction on the 1st of August. Right? Black Moon Lilith is right in opposition to Pluto. Overcoming our fears, fears of injustice, fears of secrecy, fears of those skeletons in the closet, fears of restriction and inability to transform our lives. Okay, this is what this triple conjunction is dealing with. Remember that Cancer and Taurus are separated by 60 degrees. So that is potential, okay? It is potential. It's like needing to go through the fire to get to the other side. Okay, so I think I will leave it there. Obviously, Saturn is at the 22nd, 23rd degree. So those of you that are of fixed signs, that are born towards the third decan, so the last 10 days of the fixed signs will be challenged by Saturn. Also because we've got 18 degrees here, which is more towards the end of the second decan of the fixed signs. Again, there's challenges there, but remember that this doesn't have to only speak to challenges. It could speak to surprising changes, wonderful surprises, as well as we also see Venus here sextiling over to this triple conjunction. Okay, so there's difficult aspects, but there's also very positive aspects. Okay, and on this very important day, we've got Mercury in a connection to Neptune. Neptune can speak to a lack of clarity, misunderstandings, anything that was behind the scenes, anything that we imagined, maybe misconceived. Mercury is trying to give us the truthful information so that we could tweak something. If you look at this connection, it speaks to two very different energies trying to work together. So something needs changing, tweaking here so that we could have the understanding, or maybe it's the information that we're needing to have the confidence and the courage, which is Leo, to look at. Maybe also those rose-colored glasses being taken off at this point. Maybe we've been deceiving ourselves, or maybe the deception has been coming through from mainstream media, from, the news. Okay, so it's very interesting times, and the world is going to see a lot of important things playing out. And just on this important day, again, lastly, we've got the moon in Virgo, which is all about, emotionally being able to read between the lines. And we've got this beautiful wedge here. So the moon in Virgo is all about service, providing a service to, Virgo speaks to health, our daily routine, our work, acts of service towards humanity. Virgo is very much of purity and very motherly energies. So emotionally needing to feel strong, having the ability to read between the lines, discern, and make the changes that are necessary. We see that the moon is in trine to this area here, so I love that. Absolutely love that. And yeah. And we've got a beautiful, on this day, we've got the sun, as you can see, trining over to the sun trining over to Jupiter, even though Jupiter is retrograde, so he's very powerful, and he's very much, sometimes as a retrograde planet, he could be where some of us are more over optimistic. So do take care about over optimism, okay? And remember that Jupiter and the sun, they're the two largest celestial bodies in our solar system. And because the sun loves the area of Aries, it feels like they're working together. Jupiter and the sun, they're in a trine. So it doesn't really, to me, doesn't speak to negativity. It speaks more to positivity, but it's just that the energies are very powerful, more potent, and they do relate to the past because Jupiter is retrograding. So we'll see past situations coming into our understanding. Jupiter does give us a sense of wisdom on how to continue that journey moving forward, but there's something that we need to tend to before we can start to move forward. So pay attention to what's going on this special day. Okay, and we will be revisiting this situation when Jupiter will re-enter Aries, and we'll come back to that 8th degree, which will be next year. Okay, so remember the plant that's been the seed that's been planted here pertaining to Leo. So yeah, I just want to move forward to see when Venus is going to oppose Pluto. Here we are. Here we are, 25th, 26th degrees, so it's around the 8th and 9th of August, but coming up to those days. We will have clarity at this point here pertaining to the 8-year synodic cycle of Venus, and pertaining to the home and career, matters to do with the past and the future, our personal lives, our home lives, versus our lives out there in the world. All right, my loves, I hope that helped. For more information and more details, do join us on Patreon. I want to thank you all so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. You may also ask me questions. You can write your comments beneath the video. Okay, so I will get back to you in due time. Love and light to all of you. And remember, these days are very important for humanity and for us personally. Stay strong, stay vigilant, shine bright, my loves. Talk to you soon.